morning. So glad that you're here with us today. I love looking around and watching you greet one another. It's so fun. Really glad that you're here with us. If you are new, if it happens to be your first time, my name is Emily Neefus. I'm a pastor on staff here. I'm also a small group leader. We had our small group Christmas party yesterday. It was so much fun. We did one of those white elephant things where you get a bunch of junk, but I got the Starbucks card, one of them. No one wanted to steal from me because, who wants to steal from a pastor? So, it worked out to my advantage. It was fun. And if you're not part of a small group, it's the best. So I just really encourage you to check one out. So, security blanket. This is Maggie's security blanket. She's our almost 3-year-old. And she loves this thing, and if she knew I had it, she'd be screaming and running up here to get it. We had a Christmas party, and so we had the kids spend the night with Nana and Grandpa Hefe. And we forgot the blanket. I forgot the blanket. I'll take the blame. And it was just bad. It was bad. Nana calls. Where's the blanket? Where is it? She's crying. So she just loves this thing. She cannot be without it. And no, we did not drive it to her. We stayed strong and she was fine. But she loves this blanket. And she thinks, for some reason, that this blanket, it gives her all the comfort she needs, right? So anytime she's hurt or anytime she's afraid, Frank and I will grab her and we'll pray for her and we'll say, Maggie, Jesus loves you and let's pray for you, and we'll say amen. And I always think that she'll be fine, but she never is. She just cries, but I just want my blanket, right? Because this is what gives her comfort. Now we all know that this blanket is false security. How do I know that? Because one day, hopefully, she will lay it down. Hopefully. And she won't pick it back up again. I hope she does it soon because you can only wash these so many times. But we know that we give these up, hopefully. If some of you still have your security blanket, it's okay. I don't judge you. But usually we lay them down and we let them go, and they don't offer the comfort anymore. And hopefully Maggie will lay this down and she'll find her comfort in the only one who can actually bring comfort. And today, we get to look at the birth of the one and only who can truly bring us the comfort that we so desire. We all have a security blanket in our lives, hopefully not a real blanket, but we have them in our lives. It's something that we hold on to and we cling to it and we think that it brings us comfort. Those are things like money. We think if we just have more money, we'll be comfortable. And if we lose it, our lives fall apart, right? If we don't have that money. Or maybe it's your job. Maybe it's a relationship, someone in your life that has become your security. Maybe it's success or your reputation. Whatever it is, we have these security blankets that we hold on to in our lives. But today, we're going to look at the ultimate example of someone who laid down everything to be our comforter. We're first going to look at that comforter. And to do that, I'm going to present the scripture verse for this morning, and it comes from Handel's Messiah. So if you've been with us for the last few weeks, you've seen that we've been going through Handel's Messiah and pulling out various scriptures from his Messiah. And last week, Bob actually lip-synced his portion of Handel's Messiah, and I'm just not going to go there. But I am going to play it for you so you can listen to our verse for this morning.
Son, I shall call his name.
Both Matthew, he quotes it from Isaiah. The verse is this: "Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel," which means God with us. God with us. When we think about what it really means that God came to be with us, it can really make a huge difference in our lives. What we're going to do this morning is we're going to take this idea of lay it down. So I do want you to keep that in your head. The main idea today, lay it down. Keep that in your mind. But to do that, to look at lay it down, we're going to actually look at the prequel to the birth of Jesus. So did anyone go see Star Wars Rogue One? I see a couple hands. And a few cheers. Okay, I know we have Star Wars fans. So they made Star Wars Rogue One, and it is a prequel to the original Star Wars. There's like many prequels, but this is a prequel. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take the story of the birth of Jesus, and usually we just start there, right? Jesus is born. But today we're going to go backwards and look at it as if it were a prequel. So yes, Jesus is born, but what was really happening before he was born? So enjoy the journey. To do this, we're going to look at Philippians chapter 2. And so if you have your Bibles or your device and you want to scroll there, we're going to be looking at Philippians chapter 2, verses 6 through 8. And this is going to give us insight into the prequel to the birth of Jesus. Speaking of Jesus, it says this: "Who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be grasped, but made himself nothing, taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness, and being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient to death, even death on a cross." For these last few weeks, Amos, our teaching pastor, and Bob, our lead pastor, they've been encouraging us to not sleep through Christmas, to make sure that we don't let the good news become old news, and to find something extraordinary in an ordinary story. And so here we're going to find something extraordinary in the ordinary story of the birth of Jesus. Yes, he was born, but what happened before? Here's what happened. Before Jesus was born, he had everything. He had everything. He was with God in heaven, equal to God. So God and Jesus, one in heaven. He has, and still has, complete divinity. He is fully God. But before he chose to come to earth, he was there in heaven. Now, I don't know what heaven is like. I haven't been there. But I have read, and maybe some of you have read, these accounts of people who have died and gone to heaven and then come back. And what is common among all of those stories is that they don't want to come back. Right? They've entered this place where they have met God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and they describe it. First, it's really hard to describe, but it's like this light that is so bright and so full of love that you can do nothing but just stand there in awe and bask in this incredible love. It's this kind of love that we've actually probably never fully felt, but it's the kind of love that says, I accept you for who you are, no matter what you've done or will ever do. I love you completely, unconditionally. It's this incredible, incredible love. And this is what Jesus had before he was born in heaven. He's equal to God. He still is. He still was. So what happens with Jesus then, and I don't know if they had a conversation up in heaven, I have no idea, so I won't go there, but it could have been something like, so, wait, I have this plan. You see, all the people in the world are so full of sin and they cannot save themselves, and so we've got to do something. Hey, would you like to leave heaven where everything is so awesome? Would you like to leave this wonderful place and go down there with them? Would you like to lay it all down? Right? Who would say yes to that? Who would say, yes, I'd love to leave this incredible, wonderful place where Jesus had full authority. He was king of everything. King of everything. Full power, full authority, everything was his. And here's what it says. It says he chose, not God made him. God did not say, and now you have to leave and go save all these people. He chose. He chose to leave everything. Leave everything. To become a little baby. I want to point out something real quick before I take that point a little further, and you can just listen. But this comes from John chapter 17, and it gives us a little insight into what Jesus left. Chapter 17, verse 5. And now, Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world began. Before the world even began, Jesus was. He was, God was, before the world began, and Jesus had this full glory. And so what does Jesus say in coming to earth? What he says is, I'll give it up. For you, I'll give it up. I have all this comfort. I have all this glory. But for you, I will give it up and lay it down for you. And so I like to think that the angels in heaven don't call this story the birth of Jesus. They call it the emptying of the Christ. The emptying of Jesus. We call it the birth. For us, it's this celebration, right? For the angels and for God and Jesus, it is a celebration, right? But it was in the emptying. It was a giving up in order to come and be with us. So what happens then is Jesus chooses to let go of all of that and to come in human form. Now, this can get a little confusing, and I'll try to just make it as simple as I can. This word, Jesus being the very nature of God, is the word form, and it comes from this word morphe, from which we get metamorphosis, so you automatically think of a butterfly. And when the caterpillar becomes a butterfly, he's still actually the caterpillar, right? He just added some wings and he changed his form. And so this is what happens with Jesus. He just changes his form. The only thing he gave up really was his glory and his splendor, all of his rights, and his position in heaven. He took on a new form, but he is still fully God. So he is man. He becomes one of us, but yet still maintains his divinity. He is still fully God. And so he chooses to become human, and can you really fathom that? What all the limitations he now has, right? He goes through all the same temptations that we have to deal with. He suffers the same way that we suffer. And I was thinking so much about, it would have been different if he came as a king, right? And that's what the Jews thought he was supposed to be, this king who could come and overthrow the Romans who were oppressing them. But he didn't even come as a king of earth. He came poor, right? Where was this baby born? Into poverty. He was born in a stable. They laid him in the place where they put the cow's food, right? He wasn't born to King Herod, right? No, he wasn't born a king. He's born into poverty. So not only do we have a God who says, I will come down here and save you, and I will do it as humbly as I have to get you to understand that I love you more than anything. So he comes poor, and then as he grows up, he's despised. He's rejected. He's not beautiful. He's not accepted. They look down on him. They call him, what, the Nazarite? What good could come from there? And they spit on him. I don't know if you've ever been spat on. I haven't, but it sounds horrible. And I don't even like it when someone's mad at me like this much, and people hated him. People hated him. They rejected him. There's this place in time where Jesus is starting out his ministry, and he's talking to the Pharisees, and he tells them, before Abraham was, I am. And he calls himself God, and they pick up stones to throw at him. Have you ever had stones thrown at you? I can't imagine. And he chose it. He chose it. And so what 2 points can we take from the prequel? So before Jesus is born, he had everything, but he gave it up. Why? Why did he give up everything? Why did he lay down everything for us? He did it out of love. He did this out of love. I was trying so hard to think of a story that could express this kind of love, and I can't. This is unfathomable to me. Don't know that we've really experienced that love. I hope you can today, but this love of God is beyond your imagination. He gave up everything out of love, and why? Here's part of the reason why. There are many reasons he did it out of love, but he also did it for this reason, and that is to be our comforter. And I'm going to show you that in Isaiah 61. You don't have to turn there, you can just listen. But here's how we see Jesus coming to be our comforter. This is speaking of Jesus. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn. He came out of love to be our comforter, so that we don't need these security blankets in our lives. He came to be our comforter. Last night, I had a really bad nightmare. They happen sometimes, but this was a bad one. And it was just about this horrible storm that was just raging all around me, and the trees were falling and on Frank and I, and we just had to get home. We had to get home, but I couldn't get there. Frank couldn't get there. The wind was just blowing, and the storm is raging, and we're trying so hard to get home. And we just couldn't. And then I woke up, and after a nightmare, you're just like, I don't really want to go back to sleep, because I don't want to go back to that place. And so I just laid there, and all I said over and over was just, Jesus, 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 until I finally fell back to sleep again. I could have turned to some security blanket to help me in that moment of fear, but Jesus, he really is all we need. He really, truly is all that we need. He is our comforter. And so, yes, we celebrate the birth of Jesus. And I hope that as you see these scenes with baby Jesus, that you'll think about what it cost. We sang a song just before, I'll never know how much it cost. It's true. But if we think about it just a little bit, it might be something extraordinary in an ordinary story, that he gave up everything to come and be born. And so, for us today, how can we apply this to our lives? Well, we now have the perfect example of someone who gave up everything, who laid down everything. And we now know that he is the true source of comfort. I know we all do this. We try to find comfort in so many things, and it never works out, right? And so now we know Jesus is our true source of comfort, but let's talk about how to apply it to our lives. And to do that, blindness is going to help us. So how many of you are familiar with the Charlie Brown Christmas? Okay, great. Much more than Star Wars. Charlie Brown Christmas. So I don't blame you. I'm sure Star Wars is wonderful. But in the Charlie Brown Christmas, you know Linus, right? He's actually very intelligent, and yet he walks around all the time with his security blanket. And no matter how hard his friends try, and they try to get him to let it go, he will not let that blanket go. But I want you to watch this for a moment.
Yes, I really don't know what Christmas is all about. Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? Sure, Charlie Brown. I can tell you what Christmas is all about. Lights, please. And there were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
Did anyone notice what he did with his blanket? And you just say it out. He dropped his blanket. I don't know if that was the first time ever. I've watched Charlie Brown, but that's the first time I've ever seen him drop that blanket. He drops his blanket, and now I'm going to have you watch it one more time, not the whole clip, just the part where he drops it. And I want you to try really hard to listen and see if you can hear what he says when he drops the blanket, or right before. So he says something and then lets it go. So watch one more time.
Lights, please. And there were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not.
When does he drop the blanket? What does he say? Fear not. Fear not. Why do we have these security blankets? Because we are afraid. We are afraid of something. So we grab onto them and we hold them tight. And will we come to a place ever where we can finally say, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid because I know that I have a comforter. He'll take care of it. He'll take care of it. If you were like me, well, I watched this multiple times and I was disappointed because he does drop the blanket, but then he picks it back up again. I thought, oh man, Linus, couldn't you just leave it? Then I could make my point and it would be great. And so I was disappointed. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, like, this is who we are. This is our human nature. We might get to this place in our life where we finally say, I'm laying it down. And then the next day, what do? We pick it back up. And we have to do it again. I'm laying it down. And we pick it back up. And it's this process. And the beauty, though, of the movie is the end. And so let me show you the very end of the movie.
I never thought it was such a bad little tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love.
In the end, he finally actually lets it go. And if I had played the whole end, that blanket became the tree skirt, and all of his friends came alongside of him, and they sang, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and he doesn't pick it back up again. And I love the part about all the friends coming alongside him, because that's what we need. That's why we love home groups here, because we all have these blankets and sometimes we let them go, and then we have to run to our home group and say to them, help me. Come alongside me. I'm going through this storm. I have this security blanket that I don't want anymore, and can you help me get through this time? I feel like that's what Linus did. He let his blanket go finally, and then he got himself surrounded by his friends, the people who could support him. So for us today, what does all of this look like? I'll sum it up with an example from my life. So my security blanket is success. The reason is because I am a recovering perfectionist. I'm no longer saying I am a perfectionist because I am recovering, but I love to be perfect. I always have. Even growing up, I got my name written on the board in first grade, and that was the end of the world for me. I said right then and there, Mrs. Barry will never write my name on the board again. And I struck off on this journey to always be perfect as I could be. And so straight A's and just everything had to be perfect. And it's been such a security blanket for me, because I think that I can do everything. I can do that. I can do that. And so success has become the security blanket. But I will tell you the truth, these last 2 weeks were horrendous for me in this area. I failed in every single area of my life. My parenting was awful. With Frank, just made mistakes. At work, I made awful mistakes. Everything just fell apart, right? And instead of me actually laying down the blanket, it was like ripped away from me. Like, you will not succeed. It was so awful. I cried for days. Just letting go of all this. I just failed so much I couldn't handle it. But what it made me realize at the very end, I finally just got down on my knees and I said, you know what, Jesus? I am done. I am done fighting this battle of having to succeed in every area of my life, and I keep failing. I can't do this, and I'm just done. Jesus, be my comforter now. And you know what I heard? The first thing that popped into my head was this: Emily, you are acceptable. I knew he died for me. I knew he forgave all the wrongs that I'd done, but I had never actually felt accepted just for me. I guess I was trying to earn it, trying to make Jesus think, oh, Emily, you're perfect, come on in. Right? And this was that moment where I finally let it go and could finally see, Emily, you are accepted. What is your security blanket? What do you hold on to? What do you fear most being stripped away from you? That was my biggest fear, to fail like that. And it happened, and it was stripped away from me. And I'm so glad, because every time I fail now, all I say is, I'm acceptable. I'm acceptable. It's fine. If you can take your security blanket, whatever it is, money, your job, people in your life, if you can take them, if you can let them go, if you can lay them down, I promise you that you have a comforter. He gave up everything for you to be born as a baby, and he is our comforter. I promise he'll meet you wherever you are. And so this Christmas, I want to encourage you. Find something extraordinary out of the story of Jesus' birth. He laid everything down for you. And in turn, I encourage you, lay it down. Lay it down. I'm going to invite the worship team to come up. And as they do, I'm going to read a passage for you. So I'd love if you could just close your eyes and just focus for a minute. I'm going to pray real quick. Holy Spirit, I just ask that you would come right now. God, we thank you so much for the birth of your Son. We don't even realize what it cost. But it was a heavy price, and you did it out of love for us. So we thank you for that. And I ask right now, God, that you would just be stirring in people's hearts something that they need to lay down. So Come, Holy Spirit. And so this from Romans. Do you see what this means? Do you see what this means? Keep your eyes on Jesus. He both began, right? He was there in the beginning, and he finished this race that we're in. Study how he did it, because he never lost sight of where he was headed. That exhilarating finish in and with God. He could put up with anything along the way, the cross, shame, whatever, and now he's there in the place of honor right alongside God.